Okay.
With a minor in graphic design. I sell kombucha, which is a sparkling fermented tea, and it was a hobby. I was a home brewer for almost a decade. It was something that I really loved doing, sort of how people love brewing beer or making their own wine or pickling or something like that. Just in my house, I had a little brewery. Kombucha is a sparkling fermented tea. The kombucha that I sell here wholesale and at the farmer's market is a green tea blend kombucha. So it's got a little bit more of a lighter, refreshing taste, and it goes very well with food. You know, it was a very organic way of growing. I moved to a neighborhood that I had more space in, so I actually had the opportunity to have like a bigger home brewery, and I accidentally made about 20 gallons, and I started sharing it with my neighbors, and so people were coming over to my house and giving me money, and they were like, "Can I please have some more of that? Can I buy it from you?" And I wasn't a business at the time, and through the support of the neighborhood and just basically out of demand, I decided to launch a business. If you had met me when I first started, I had a chalkboard from IKEA. It said kombucha and it had 4 flavors. I was in those flip-top fermenting bottles, and I was just selling it by the glass like a child, right? But every week we would sell out, and I would have to make more and more. Before we really had a brand, we were doing about maybe 15 gallons at the farmer's market.
Okay.
A year and a half later, we do sometimes 60 up to 80 gallons
Per market.
in Mount Pleasant.
In Mount Pleasant.
Market. I think the biggest challenge, particularly to DC, is food companies, startup food companies have to produce out of commercial kitchen space. And there are, at the time I was starting up, there weren't that many options, especially for what we make, which we take up a lot of space. We ferment in large stainless steel tanks. But luckily, I've been fortunate enough to find space for our production. You know, I think that I've been really lucky with starting up this because it was a hobby of mine, and I loved it. So even if I wasn't doing this business, I would still be brewing it out of my house. So lucky for my husband, I'm not doing that anymore. I do have a brewery, but there is something to be said about when you're an entrepreneur and loving what you do, because it is what you think about every day. It's what you wake up in the morning and you think about. It's not like 9 to 5 where you can just go home and it's over. Like, there's always something to be thinking about, how to expand, problem solving type things. So I would say love what you're doing, because it becomes your life.